And welcome back. Today we are going to be taking a look again at some clips you guys have been sending to me. And still, if you want to submit your clips, you can go to my Discord. It will have a tab called Content Review. And you can post your clips in there if you want me to review them. Tell me if you want to get roasted or not. And the main thing here is, do not send me clips that are good. Don't send me clips where you win a 1v6. No one cares. We are here trying to learn something. So preferably, I want to see you die at the end of the game. Or at least lose the match in some sort. I don't want to see things that are like stuff you send to Thunder Show, stuff you post in Discord because you want to flex. I want to look at things that go wrong so I can actually comment on it. First things first here. Thank you to all my patrons and everyone looking to buy anything from the Gaijin store. You can do so with the link down below. You get a 3% discount and this absolutely fantastic decal that you can plaster all over your plane or tank. But without further ado, we have the Limp 5P against the F86 A5. And just a little bit of a disclaimer, I haven't watched these clips before I start watching them. I want to do it in real time. I want to do it in one take to keep it very fair. So I cannot go Captain Hindsight, but I actually have to react on what's going on. So it can be that sometimes I say something and it's not actually true because I don't have the context of the entire game. But let's get right into it. We have a Limp 5P here with quite a hefty energy advantage, which should be against the F86 A5 a pretty easy win. This guy calls it throwing a free 1v1, Limp 5P and a sad smiley, which is completely understandable. I would feel the exact same way if I were to die in this kind of position against the A5. Right now, we're going much quicker. We are already on this guy's 6. And the only advantage that this guy really has is the ability to pull in that instantaneous kind of turn-in thing. Because it compresses less, it rolls better, and it of course has those slats. I see some hits there. I'm not sure if that's server or not. Right here, you're going a little bit too aggressive. You can do this. The issue is the A5 is going to get a very easy time to pull up after you. And you are kind of equalizing energy. Do not fly straight like this. This is already red flag number 1. Sticking like this, it's doable. You already have position. You can drain him of speed. The issue is, if you are not going to take the proper lines, if you're not going to stay out of his guns properly, and doing stuff like this where you just fly straight, if he had kept pulling in here, if he didn't break off there, you would have already been dead right here. Massive red flag. You can stick that fight, but I would play it a little bit more safely and then do this stuff, the dogfight, after like 1 or 2 passes. When he is a little bit lower speed, if he already is going 900 plus, you kind of don't want to take that fight with an A5. You are probably on higher fuel than him because you are a Limp 5, you have afterburner, you need to probably carry 20 minutes. I don't know what fuel you are bringing here, but considering you are probably running 20, he's probably running min. This is kind of dangerous, and flying straight right here is giving him a very nice opportunity to pull straight into you. And in this kind of maneuver where you go into these horizontal, vertical kind of scissors where you start rotating around each other, you do not want to be the guy on top. He breaks off for you, luckily. He decides he has seen enough. He goes straight down, and he gives you all the position that you just gave back to him, back to you. So now you're diving on him, you are cutting him off, and you're gonna go right in the exact same position. But now the speeds are a little bit lower. The A5 isn't as fast as he just was. And now doing a dogfight isn't as risky because you are going 800. You are going near that speed where the Limp 5P just produces way more energy. And you turn about the same. The issue is still the A5 will dump a lot of speed and it will pull very tightly. He's going for the javelin, shooting at him. He is paying attention. And here, you're going to pull after him, and that's completely fine here. But here you do it again. You pull up, and you kind of are going to give this guy a shot. You go straight again. You're probably neck G because your crew sucks, and this is why I say export your crews if you are going to fly a plane very often. I know it's expensive for a lot of you out there, especially if you don't actually use premium. But trust me, if you have to constantly neck G, you are going to have a bit of a problem versus a lot of your enemies. This, however, even if you are neck G-ing because of your crew, you're going straight for way too long. You're giving this guy way too much position, and you can tell he is now instantly on your 6. And this is the kind of position you don't really want to be in. You can still get out of it, but you need to be very careful that you don't fly in his guns. You don't want to go too vertical, you want to keep this kind of horizontal, and you're solving the issue that you build up for yourself right here nicely. You're going horizontal, you're not going straight up, you're not stalling yourself out right in front of him, and you are going to be getting the shot here. So, all things considered, you made some mistakes, but it's not detrimental yet, because this guy is 1, not capitalizing on them, and 2, there's still a mix in there of things that you are doing right. It's not a complete horror show here. I'm not trying to rip on you as much as possible, but I want to call out the things you are doing wrong, because that's, after all, why you actually send in these clips. Air braking here is valid. The issue is, yeah, this right here. So if you are going to air brake, you need to make sure that you actually are going to stay behind someone. If you overshoot after you air broke, you know what's going to end up happening? You're just going to end up in front of the other guy, except with less speed. And this is going to make you a very easy target. And you can tell here, because I was kind of talking about something else, you get the shot here, you're going for the lead shot, and that's completely fine. You probably could have killed him right there, but you missed, or whatever, doesn't really matter. And here, you see that he's going to pull in, and you're again flying straight. If you want to start air braking, you need to do this quicker. You probably need to air brake already here, and then you're going to firmly plant yourself on the guy 6, and at these speeds, he is not going to get you off you. Going to get you off him. Yeah, that's better. Now, you already kind of overshot. You're already underneath him. He is going straight. You're going straight down. Or he's kind of going horizontal. And you're going straight down. You're starting the air brake. You're much quicker than this guy. And the thing you're going to do here is simply park yourself in front of him. He's going to turn quite tight. And it looks like he takes a very horrible line here. You almost get the shot. Not quite. But here, if he had just kept pulling in, which a lot of guys don't do for some reason, just like you at the start here when you went straight, then he also broke off. He's now going to get on your 6, and now you're turning away from him. This is the number 1 worst thing you can do. Because now you've air braked, you've slowed down substantially. And this guy is now on your 6. And because the A5 is probably on min fuel, he's just going to turn in here. There he comes. And now you just want to run. You do not want to engage someone that turns as well as you, or potentially better, considering you have a higher fuel load. That's already slower. If you are going to give your position away like this, you're going to die. You need to reset right here. Oh, okay, I thought you were going to turn fight him. This is completely okay. You just extend away. You did kind of throw the dogfight, but you don't want to go back into the fight here. You could have very easily ran away from him. Now you probably need to air brake a little bit. And I mean, the main issue here is that you just pulled right in front of him. You don't want to do this. That's the main issue here. First thing, do not try to reverse people that are slower than you in a very maneuverable plane. The A5 is bad at one thing. What is that? Acceleration. If you are going to slow down in front of him, you're kind of giving it to him. So just keep running away. You were opening up the gap. You were running away quite handily. Look at that, 74, 76, 78. Look how quickly you are outrunning him. You are not really in danger here. You just need to kind of bob and weave. And you can turn around to go for the dogfight once you get enough distance. But at 800 meters, what you're going to end up doing is simply turn right ahead of this guy. Just like this. And he's slower than you. He doesn't need to air brake. You are air braking. You are dumping your speed to equalize the speed with him. You then still need to slow down more than him to actually make him overshoot. And if you slow down too much, the A5 is just going to do a loop and he's going to spray you down, especially with the fuel in mind. I'm not sure if you are bringing 20, but I think you are. I can't say for certain, of course. But you are quite a bit heavier here. And you can tell here, you want to keep pulling in. Do not do this. Do not do whatever you're doing here. This is what got you killed. This maneuver right here. You made some mistakes before. Not completely detrimental. They were kind of solved. But here, you were faster than him. And what do? You pull in front of him. What you want to do here is you simply want to merge. Just keep pulling. Do not roll. Do not roll at all. Well, roll to dodge his shots a little bit. But try to keep this heading. Complete your loop. Do not switch your loop to the other side. This is what happens. If you had just kept pulling in, you probably would have been able to energy trap this guy. You're going very, very slow. Well, very slow is a bit of an over-exaggeration. But you're only going 600. He's going about the same speed. And considering you are also air braking here, he's probably going like 5. Yeah, he's barely catching you. You're probably both going about 500. If you just spiral up here and you just continue the loop, just continue turning into him. Do not turn outside of the people. Unless, of course, you are in a much more maneuverable plane, like say a 0, and he's in a fast plane and you want to reverse him and you want to be instantly on the 6 at like 0.2. That's when you do this. In jets, against something like an A5, don't attempt this. You are going to get your shit rocked unless this guy is of course going much quicker than you. This is the kind of maneuver you do when the enemy is going 200 kilometers an hour quicker than you, so that you can park yourself very closely on him, and then he's probably going to panic and try to turn fight you. And then you get the opposite of what just happened. He's going to try to reverse you despite you being slower than him, and then you get a free kill. So main thing here, keep completing your turns. Do not fly straight. Keep pulling into people. Never turn outside of people unless the situation calls for it. But very often there is no reason to do it, unless of course it's, well, one of the examples that I just gave you. Let's go look at something else. We have the, there we have it, the Spitfire LF Mark 9 against another Spitfire LF Mark 9. And we don't have any markers here, which is going to change the dynamic a little bit because we don't see the energy states quite as easily. I'm terribly sorry, but this 1080p looks absolutely horrible. This is why I upload in 1440p. Okay, first off, you pull into the head-on, and you're just gonna full send it. He's gonna dodge your guns. And the issue with ground up B here is that you don't really know how fast he was going. You don't have markers, you don't know if he's going full speed into you, but it looks like he gave you some position by dodging the head-on. The issue is you're only going 200 here and you're already using flaps, and in the long run this is going to be a little bit detrimental. But you're using it to get the shot a little bit quicker. You're pulling in, but he's just a little bit too fast. So you get a nicking shot in there on the back of the tail, but it's not enough. It's not going to down him, and you're just using the flaps a little bit too much here. You want to be careful with that. You don't want to use them too much. You do pull them in here, which is alright. Then you're pulling into his nose. And you're kind of pulling pure pursuit here, putting your nose directly on his cockpit. And again, the flaps. I'm not sure what you're trying to do. Are you trying to get behind him, or are you trying to energy trap him? Because right now you're doing both at the same time, and it's not really working out. He's pulling the other way. He's going to use that speed to pull into you right here probably. And now he has you energy trapped. You use your flaps a little bit too much. He uses them there, and he rips them off. But he has so much position on you now. He's in such a superior position that it doesn't really matter that he doesn't have flaps anymore. You're still pulling into him, which is the correct thing. Pulling in, pulling in, pulling in, and here you kind of give him the shot. I think. Yep. Just as expected. So let's go back a little bit. I just want to confirm what I say is right before I actually go too far into it. Because if I think you are going to give him the shot and then you don't get shot, it's a little bit... I can't build up on that, so I'm going to rewind it a little bit and tell you why that is. This guy is turning. And he's already turning into you, and he's going a little bit quicker, so he's turning a little bit tighter than you. And you can tell here, this is exactly what it is. This guy has passed you, he's already turning into you, and then what do? You switch your turn to the other side, and this is the exact same thing as that Limb 5P just did. Do not switch your loops in the middle of it. If you merge, you can do that, but if you switch your loop like that, when you're already in the middle of the turn and you haven't merged in a while, this is what ends up happening. He's already completing the loop, he's going a little bit quicker than you, and he's just going to pull right into you. There you go. You get damage, you don't really get hit. Try to pull in for the head-on, and again these flaps. This guy has more energy than you. And here he comes again. You're going to probably just go over his nose. Yep. Go down. And I mean, at this point, he just has too much position on you. You wasted too much speed at the start with the flaps. That's the main issue. Your lining in general isn't horrible. It's pretty decent, actually. And you are not like pulling in front of him. You're not pulling into the wrong direction until at the very end. And again, it's the exact same thing as with the Limb 5P. He rips his flaps here. And now this guy is going to go 100% energy mode because he doesn't have them. Now with flaps, with Spitfires are pretty important. You do want to use them at the right times, especially in a 1v1 like this. The issue is using them too much. Right here, you don't need the flaps to pull into him. You're not going to get the shot. You are simply wasting energy right here. And then this right here. Just keep pulling into that direction. You're kind of on the 6. And if you turn around right now, and especially if you turn around to like the other side, which is what you do, because you're pulling like to this side of the map, then you roll over and you roll the other way. There you go. You just hand him the shot. Kind of try to pull in for the head-on, but no chance. And again, these flaps are down. And right here, I don't really completely go against it, because you aren't going to need it to just go over his nose. But after this point, you're probably best off to just pick up a little bit of speed. And I would almost say, at this stage right here, dive out. And I know this sounds like you are going to give him your 6, and you are kind of going to do that. But you already gave him the shots right here a little bit ago. And you're better off trying to reset than trying to keep fighting an already losing fight. You're probably better off trying to reverse him, even though he is in the same plane. He's going to be a little bit quicker than you, and you are going to negate the fact that you are going to fly in front of him going 250 kilometers an hour, because it doesn't matter how bad they are going to be hitting that kind of shot. So right here, you're probably best off trying to run a little bit, extend a little bit. With a little bit of luck, he even will lose you, because there are no markers. But you can try to reset the fight a little bit, even though you give him the 6. It's kind of a band-aid for what you did right here, because you were in a pretty decent position up until the point, well, I don't need to show you again, where you roll over and pull the other way again. You are kind of pulling into him right here. Just use your flaps a little bit less, and then you don't get into this position in the first place. What else do we have for you today? We have the 190 A8 versus a Yak 3, and the only thing I do is I look at the end, see how it ends, because I want to see if it's an actual loss or not. I don't watch anything else, but I just want to know whether you actually die or not. And if you don't die or lose, I'm just going to skip you. So keep that in mind. But I also read a comment. It doesn't pay to get into a turn fight with a Yak, or so it would seem. And he says, I had no other choice, he was catching me. Now, let's look at the clip and see if that's actually the case. So you get a few shots in, you don't actually hit anything. And you probably need to run away, because it's a Yak 3, and I know it's a VK107, which is an almost unwinnable matchup in this plane. But, you know, for the time being, sometimes it's also good to get some tips on flying bad planes. You gun him down real quick, pretty decent. But you do want to look around a little bit more, because I really hope this is not your player cam, because I cannot see shit right now. Are you actually looking around? Oh, yes, you are. Okay, he's on your 6. He's going to catch you. There's no way around it. Is he going to catch you? Yes, he is. Okay, at this point, your real only reason is you try to reverse him at high speed, because that's, of course, the benefit of the 190. But the Yak 3 VK107 is going to absolutely run circles around you. And I do recommend what you're doing right here. There's two ways to do it. You can try to make him overshoot by simply giving him your 6, but he will be able to throttle down, or he will be able to just run an energy trap on you, which is kind of dangerous. So I would probably do the same thing right here. You miss your shots, that's unlucky, but I'm not going to rip on you for it, because, well, Yak 3s are kind of a pain in the ass to deal with, especially the VK107 if you're flying a 190A. But you're picking up some speed, you're going to let him pick up some speed as well, and you can maybe use this in your advantage to make him overshoot. Let's see if he dives in. He doesn't. Okay, at this point, you already need to start thinking to yourself, this guy is not going to be taking the fight on your terms. This guy did not dive on you instantly, and he's going to wait a little bit to get on your 6. This is looking very rough, and I'm going to say up front, if someone plays like this versus you and you are in a much inferior plane, you're done. There is very little you are going to be doing here, but let's actually look at what you could have done a little bit different, or if it's that the Yak 3 just played it way too good. Okay, this is one of the things you don't want to do. So, you notice that he's not taking the fight with you. You notice that he's kind of lagging behind. You don't want to pull up here. Go straight, reset again, and maybe fly towards your teammates. They are kind of off your nose if you just keep going straight. But if you notice that a Yak 3, especially the VK107, is kind of breaking off from you, and he's kind of not engaging you, and he's waiting for you to stall yourself out, do not give him the opportunity to stall yourself out, because you're gonna die. This could have already been the end of you, because you're going like 460, and you're just gonna park yourself in front of him. Look how slow you are right now. This is looking very bad, I'm not gonna lie. He's going a little bit quicker, and you're just gonna roll around, and he breaks off. Okay, that is kind of what I expected. He's playing it way too safe. I'm actually gonna commentate on what this guy is doing wrong from here on out, because you are already dead at this point. I'm gonna be looking at the reason why you aren't. This guy right here has all the opportunity in the world to just sit on your ass and kill you right here. And this clip would have been 4 minutes shorter. And this is what I mean with people, take some fucking risk, please. And I mean this VK. Just keeping your energy and taking your sweet ass time to kill someone is not gonna be... It's not gonna help you in any way. The meta right now is killing people as quickly as possible so that the tickets don't drain prematurely. I get it, he doesn't want to overshoot. You're going 350. All this guy needs to do is just throttle down a little and just sit on your ass. He's in a VK 107. You are gonna do absolutely nothing to him. So, and I say this very often, taking risk is very often a little bit less risky than taking no risk at all. But in this case, it's actually not risky at all to just park on this guy's 6. There is no one around the third party, and you are in the VK 107 at like 0.2 on the guy's 6. You don't have to break off, you really don't. So you're just rolling around, and I get that he doesn't want to deal with that, but all he needs to do is just stay close to you. He breaks off, and you do the right thing here. He decides to break off, and you just instantly pull back up after him. The issue is, it's a Yak 3 VK 107. You try to use your flaps to get the shot in, and right here he almost gets himself killed. Because he is so obsessed with keeping his energy. You don't need to keep your energy versus every plane. If you're more maneuverable, especially with a better climb rate and a higher top speed, all you need to do is just stay on the guy's 6. Because right now, because he broke off, he gave you all the position in the world, and you're probably still going to die. Because it's a VK 107. But, all things considered, Melodic, Tomcat, you're not doing this horribly. You're not really doing anything majorly wrong. You are in a very bad matchup here, and this is basically an unwinnable fight. And if he plays it like this, I mean, you gotta do it with the cards you are dealt. And this guy is doing the opposite. This guy has like a straight aces, and he's folding quite heavily. So you keep trying to pull leg in front of him. Going leg pursuit on this guy is not gonna work. So you're going very aggressively for the shot. And I get it. This is technically the bad play, but you are in a super bad matchup here. And you need to somehow get a shot in. And then he flies. Oh my god. What does this guy do? Okay, so he finally starts gaining on you again. He's about to equalize. He's about to reverse you. And then he does the same thing as the Limp 5. He flies straight for a little bit, and I think it's very nice that this guy actually does this, because this is going to give you a very nice representation of what happens when you simply fly straight for a little bit. He just flies straight until like 900 meters, 1 kilometer, and then he starts pulling back in. Look how much position that gave us. We were about to be equal again, and now we have the shot again. Now if you have a little bit better prediction, if you have a little bit better aim, you probably can kill him there. I'm not gonna say that's a mistake, but you could have. And now he just has you energy trapped. Like, what are you gonna do? He has you stalled out. You're not going very quick. And again, this guy is just... I don't know what this dude is doing, man. You could have killed him again right here. Okay, now your shot is kind of leaving you because you just go way too slow. And I get it. I get why you went for it, because you could have killed him right there. And you're just trying to pull into him to deny him the shot. And what does he do? The exact same thing as I mentioned before. He doesn't keep turning into you. If he had just turned in here... Look at that, he breaks off, he flies away from you. He is so busy trying to be passive that he simply throws this match multiple times. But at the end of the day he wins because it's a Yak 3 VK 107. And again he doesn't get the shot here. And he could have killed you here for the 5th time. If he had played it a little bit better. And at this point, I mean, now you're just too slow and he's on your 6 again. You're going to roll around him. Is he going to go up again and stall you? Yep, he is. And again he's almost going to give you a shot. Are you going to get it? Oh my god. Oh my lord, this guy. Now, at least now you have a visualization of what it looks like when the enemy is turning into the opposite direction. Because we can all agree, the VK 107 should win this in 1, 2, maybe 3 turns. Especially if he starts on your 6. I mean, this clip should have ended right here. So, do with that what you want. So, we're gonna pull in here, we're trying to go horizontal, we're trying to pull inside of his turn. Trying to get a shot in. Now you did kind of get a shot in. It's kind of unlucky that this guy actually managed to win the fight. And now he's just trying to sizzle you. You probably want to slow down a little bit, but at the same time you can't really do anything at this point. You're too low, you're too slow, he has too much position, he's too passive. And the plane is just too good. The VK 107 is simply just too good for this plane to handle. And at this point there's really nothing you can do again. Now he's kind of playing it correctly. He's playing it somewhat safe. Oh my lord. Okay. I'm just gonna shut up and pretend I didn't say that. So we're pulling in here. And we're kind of like sitting behind him, kind of getting the shot. But I mean, 190 doesn't pull well enough, so you're not really getting it. But I hope this kind of showcases what I mean. He's in front of you. He's going to pull in front of you. And if you have a plane that's... If you wanted the same plane, basically, you would have gotten the shot right here. The thing is, he's going to go up. And this is fine. Like, flying up like this is fine. But what does he do? He turns the other way. And he turns back into our guns. And if you had predicted this, he would have died right there. The issue is you're going 220, and he can now just start raid fighting you, which is probably what he's going to end up doing. Yep, there he goes. He gets scared, and he does the only thing he knows how to do in the yak. Hold S on the deck in a flat turn. And then the 0 comes in, which is actually kind of... He's probably going to get him killed. Don't use your flaps here. No, okay, yeah, whatever. What you want to do now is just make the kill as easy as possible for the 0. Yak 3 breaks off for a little bit. Don't go up. Okay, now you're just bleeding all your speed. You're just getting yourself killed. And he's going to pull into this, no issue. But you're going to go under him. Are you going to go up? Yes, you are. You're just going to stall this guy out for the 0. Which is completely fine. I mean, at this point you were dead anyway. But at least you got this guy killed to the A6M as well. At least I hope the A6M killed him right there. Because if he didn't... he probably needs to send his point of view into this video as well. Now let's see how much minutes we have. I think we have enough. So I'm gonna say thank you all for watching. Hope it was helpful. And I'll see you all again in 1 to 2 days with an actual gameplay video.